You're welcome back from that background report on gemstone. As we all know, gemstones are minerals, rocks, organic matters that are, taken away because they are beautiful and then polished for adornment. And I have an expert in the studio with me in person of Engineer Aboyomi Ona Sanya, Global Director, African House. I hope I did not mother that name.
No, it's fine. You did well. It's fine. You did well. Thank you very much for
Okay,
having
good morning,
me.
sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for
An
having
expert in gemstone.
me. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm sure you've seen all the rubies, the emeralds, the sapphires, and everything.
Yeah, I've seen a lot in my lifetime.
We'd love to see it here. Well, for our viewer out there who would like to know what gemstones are.
Gemstones are basically, I'll call them minerals that has been buried for thousands and thousands of years. And then they're valuable because of their rarity and because of their beauty. So that's why they are sought after, actually. And then they call them gemstones.
Okay. Okay. So in Nigeria, where do we locate them or find them?
Wow, that's a good question. I always tell people that Africa is blessed. Not only are we blessed, Nigeria especially is super blessed because you can find gemstones in virtually every state of the Federation, including the FCT.
Oh, really?
You see, yes, and if only we knew the capacity and the financial possibilities behind these gemstones, we will start exploring them even more than oil and gas, as it were.
Wow. Now that you're saying it, everybody will go out to start looking for it here.
We'll start digging with their pants.
They will start digging and looking for them.
Interesting.
Well, when you say, we can use it more than the
Oil
crude oil. So how can the gemstones replace the crude oil as a major source of income in Nigeria?
The interesting thing is that gemstones, like I said, are found in almost all the states of the Federation.
Okay.
And the income aspect of it comes in their value. For example, if you take Jos Plateau State, you see, Jos Plateau State has this particular gemstone called sapphires. They've got tourmaline and some different types of gemstones. And these gemstones, a single carat could be as high as $50,000, $60,000 a carat. And to put into perspective, a carat is just 0.2 grams, actually. So, and you've got the Mambila Plateau, that's Jos, Taraba, and other states littered with these gemstones. That's just Jos. Now let's talk about Oyo State, we talk about Kwara State, we talk about Yobe, even Katsina State. We have these gemstones all over the place. But the key to tap into this industry is knowledge. Okay. Because the truth is, the miners, the so-called miners, the artisanal miners who basically just go with their hoe and cutlasses and they clear the brush and then they start digging. And then when they find a colored stone, they say, oh, what is this? They don't even know what it is. And unfortunately, we have an international dimension to this. When they find these gemstones, they're the so-called international buyers who come often to Nigeria to buy these gemstones from them, and they take advantage of their ignorance. And then they will say, okay, for that blue stone, let me just give you 50,000 naira. And then the guy will say, oh, 50,000. That's a lot of money. I'll feed myself for a few days. And then we'll just take it and move on. But the reality is that particular stone could be worth $2-3 million. That's the reality. So in order for us to tap into this industry, we need to understand identifying these gemstones, what are their true worth in terms of international market, and what can we do to add value to the gemstone? Because gemstones, the real value is in the cutting and in the polishing, which we have not done anything about in Nigeria so far. So that's why we are advocating that we need to pivot into learning about gemstones, in fact, certifying ourselves, in fact, getting certificates. Exactly, like other countries do, you see. And in a place like Sri Lanka, which I'm open to have lived, in Sri Lanka, you cannot export any gemstone without certification. You cannot. It's illegal, in fact. So what happens is, whenever you find a gemstone, you take it to the gem bureau or to the gem authority there, who will certify it, who will give you a value that this gemstone you found, this is the approximate value. So then everything is documented, and so whenever someone approaches you or you want to export it, you know what to expect. And then the government gets taxes from this as well. So it's a whole value chain that has to be worked on in Nigeria if we're to reach that financial rewards part of it.
Oh, yeah, we need to know these things. And then we need people like you to, you know, teach, advocate, and bring about the awareness to everybody. Because a lot of people don't really know. Exactly. And then when you talk about the average Nigerian not knowing this, then he's just selling it for peanuts.
Exactly.
So how can the average Nigerian tap into this?
Well,
apart from, you know, getting the certificate, it might not be easy for him to do that.
Well, what we've done since the last 3 years as Africa House basically is that we've been trying to work with the various, the Nigerian Mining Association, with the Ministry of Mines and Steel, to create awareness programs, you know, like a training to actually teach Nigerians how to identify gemstones. Because when you talk about a green gemstone, for example, it could be anything. It could be emerald, it could be tourmaline, it could be so many other things. So, so we've been advocating, and we need to do more. Really, you see, we need to start from the federal government level, then until we get to the rural level, whereby an average miner understands how to identify what gemstone is, what is valuable and what is not. So, in order to do that, we must invest a lot first as an individual, because you know we have this entitlement mentality in Nigeria that government should do everything for me. No, yes, there's a bit government can do, but as an individual, you need to invest a bit into yourself to learn that, okay, if I want to go into this industry, what do I need to know? Do I need to know how to identify? After identification, who are my buyers? Where are they located? Is it where and what? And then how much do I expect from this industry? And what are my tax responsibilities? Because the industry will be useless if we don't pay taxes to our government, because we need these taxes to be able to develop the industry as well. And then we need to learn about mechanizing the industry, because you discover that artisanal miners, we just carry their crude tools and then they start digging and then they pollute the environment and whatnot. So these are things that we can do to tap into this industry. But the key thing is knowledge. We need to learn, and then from there we start moving step by step until we become like India, you know, that makes billions from gemstone industry. And funny enough, you know,
stone that we can find here in Nigeria, almost everywhere in Nigeria. Well, sir, you've been telling us how to tap into this industry, but then can we just look a little bit on the security aspect?
Wow, that's interesting, and I'm happy you asked this question. Gemstones, see, whenever you find an object of value, conflict is almost sure. And in Nigeria, we've found ourselves in this precarious situation because in some places like Zamfara, Nasarawa State, I mentioned these two states because I know this firsthand. Zamfara is blessed with one of the purest gold you can ever find on the planet. Nasarawa State, like I always say, can feed the whole of Africa. Nasarawa State, in terms of the minerals they have. And sad enough, I mean, it breaks my heart that some of these stolen gemstones and minerals are being exported through our borders unchecked. And I'll give an example. There's a place in Ibadan, in Oyo State, called Strabag. Strabag is a gemstone market that happens every Thursday. Strabag, when you go to Strabag every Thursday, you discover that artisanal miners will bring, it's like going to tomato market. You see gemstones on the floor, like tons of them, you see. And then foreigners will come in, I don't want to mention which nations now. They will come in, they'll buy per kilo, they buy it in bags, like 50 kg bags. Remember I said a carat is 0.2 grams, right? And someone is buying like a bag of like 50 kg of gemstone for like 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. That alone might be worth 2-3 billion as it is, you see. So they'll take it out, and then, you know, the wicked one amongst them will use this money to finance insurgency and whatever, just to get rid of the villagers, because it's easy. Why would you pay the villagers when you can just keep it to yourself? So I would say we need to work. Our government needs to put measures in place to ensure that every gemstone, every mineral that is found in Nigeria is being controlled by Nigerians, and at the same time they pay taxes. Because I can tell you confidently, I can beat my chest and I tell you that the gemstones found in Nigeria is capable of generating more than 500 billion every year. That will pay all our debt as a nation.
And then a lot of problems.
Imagine earning quadruple of your salary. Just think about that for a minute. You see, gemstones can do that for us. Not to talk of petroleum and other sectors that we're able to tap into. So, and of course, we need to ensure the security of the Nigerians in terms of their lives and property, to ensure that they can do legitimate mining, and then they can pay local taxes to the states and to the federal government. So we need to do much more in this regard.
Okay, which brings me to my next question, which is, we need to look at the challenges and then the way forward, which you've just mentioned a few. What are the other challenges and then the way forward?
The challenges is we don't have enough advocacy. Before I came back to Nigeria, we tried a lot of advocacy through the chambers of commerce across Nigeria and whatnot, but people simply don't get it. So we need to do more to let people understand that this is an industry that is capable of generating more income than oil and gas. And after the advocacy, government needs to put in place training seminars, workshops to enlighten Nigerians on which state can you find what and what is the value of these gemstones. And after that is done, we need now to set up like a government or PPP kind of a thing, an agency that regulates the gemstone industry. We do have one that we've set up on the private sector, but of course you always need the government muscle to get things across. So this agency will regulate whatever is being found in Nigeria and would ensure that the taxes go to the government. And at the same time, we need to bring in the private sector to bring in machines and equipments to cut and polish gemstones. A quick example, if you find a gemstone, let's say worth $1 million, for example, let's say 20 karat tourmaline, for example, or kunzite. This gemstone is worth, let's say, $5 million as it is in the rough state. If you polish it, the value jumps times 10 when you cut it. That's where you discover that you go to Switzerland, Dubai, you see this gold ring is $5 million, so that is that. Because why? It's been cut and it's been polished. And this is the business some countries do, like I said, India. They'll buy from you in the raw state. No problem. Pay me, I'll pay you peanuts. Give it to me. I'll polish, I'll cut. And this is capable of generating up to 1 million jobs for Nigerians. You see? So this particular thing, this particular value addition will create jobs for millions of youths, because job opportunities, and nations around the world are doing it, but we are, for some reason, we're not doing this.
That's why you're here, advocating and creating awareness to everybody. Well, before I let you go, sir, a final word to Nigerians out there that are looking at us now.
The gemstone industry is an industry to be taken seriously. And this industry is capable of not only generating income for us as a nation, it will also create jobs if we're able to tap into this industry. And we should please, let's invest in ourselves. Knowledge is power. Let's learn about gemstones. Let's learn about the possibilities, and let's grow Nigeria. Nigeria is our home. We have nowhere else to call home. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure having you here, because this is the knowledge we all need. We need to know we have something good apart from the oil and gas. This is something that will bring a lot to the economy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. Gemstones. There's a lot in this, and I've been speaking with Engineer Abayomi, and he has been telling us what gemstones are, and then how precious they are. They're not just for adornments. Well, we can generate income and then create job opportunities to the youth out there. We'll go on a short break, and our musical break comes up.